And today I want to talk about something heavier, but absolutely vital, because in the recent year, in a span of 1 year, we've been witnessing abductions across our country, targeting activists, journalists, and even the ordinary mwananchi who tries to speak out. And for some, this might be seen as just headlines. But what about the main family where that young man or young lady has been abducted from? How will they cope with the period that's coming ahead of them? So, and today we want to shift gears a little, and on set we have a guest who will introduce himself later on and drag us across this governance and accountability topic, and I'll give him the chance to introduce himself. So, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me first.
Karibu.
And also, it's quite interesting that you kick-started this particular conversation on a footing of issues of enforced disappearances, police abuse of power.
Yeah.
And interestingly, 30th of August or rather this month, the end of this month, usually is a day to commemorate victims of enforced disappearance. So then this makes this conversation very timely, very key. As you've asked, how do families and survivors cope with that? I wouldn't really say that I know so much from in-depth, but from face value and having interacted with people that have lost their loved ones, people who've not yet even, some of them, and I'll use as recent, data as of, last year and this year's demonstrations, Gen Zs, but also just going even outside Nairobi, that those who've lost their families are always left in a very, very bad state of, mind, economically, because some of them are breadwinners, emotionally, because some of them are also from families and communities. And this is a wound that is never healed, even when some of them are found, because the trauma that comes with abductions runs deep.
Now I realize you've introduced yourself, but you've not told us your name and what exactly. But it's a nice way of introducing yourself.
Thank you. I'm Javan Ofula, but mostly known as Javan the poet. J to the A to the V, N to the T, H E to the P, O E T. That is on the artistic side, but I'm also a human rights defender, a creative consultant, a writing and a performing artist that work largely with, human rights organization movements, alliances, majorly the social justice movement, the Missing Voices Coalition, and the Fight Inequality Alliance that brings about and together many local grassroots organizations, but also INGOs.
What do you think is the nexus between your artistry and the work that you do as a human rights defender? Where does it connect?
The one thing that makes, or rather brings these two together, is that artists, the easiest, the most basic form of expression that most of us have as an individual, this is one thing that comes and goes in and out without thinking twice. And we might not know, but most of us, human beings, are naturally artists. So music, poetry, dance, hitting of drums appeals to our senses differently. So thus, I chose to, and before I knew I was an activist, or rather an artist using art for social change, I was just using my hip-hop, my poetry to speak about my daily experiences. And thus, young people would really, really connect, find a space to have conversations freely, but also to just make the so-called hard conversations easy.
And drawing back ages ago, we all know the main reason as to why hip hop was evolved was to speak about the injustices and so forth in the community. Now, going on governance issues, do you feel like I just want to talk about devolution? ever since the inception of the new constitution in Kenya. Do you think like now the devolution has delivered on its promise?
It has, to an extent.
Okay.
And this is a very interesting conversation today.
Yeah.
27th of August will be Katiba Day.
Okay.
15 years since we got Constitution 2010. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Devolution in itself was an agenda that was to help devolve functions, powers, and resources. And that has been done to an extent. And I think we can all confirm that different counties that were not reached to earlier before this constitution are now reached to with the structures that be with resources that be with the different things that need to be there. However, the extent to which it has not achieved its goal is that I think not all Kenyans or most of Kenyans understand what devolution is. What are the roles of their various leaders and what are the roles, or rather their roles as citizens, because then we have to actively participate. The one thing that the Constitution 2010 gave us is the people power to exercise, to be part of the process and to make sure that whatever happens is informed by our priorities, our needs, as those different regions and then as a nation.
Because I realize even now when there's an issue around the state, many people are looking to the state government instead, national government instead of the county government.
True.
Now, it's good because most of us, we've been holding our leaders accountable to their choices. But deep inside, a leader is only as good as the people he leads.
Yes.
And whatever it's manifested in a leader is how the society is looking right now.
Yes.
Do you think we hold ourselves accountable enough?
I think we don't. And this is very clear in terms of how much more we continue to point fingers to our leaders without taking into account the shortcomings of our actions. The legislature, or rather the legislative arm of the government has been taken over. But from where did those parliamentarians come from? From where did those governors come from? From where did those members of county assembly come from? From us. We had an opportunity to do it right. Of course, we didn't to an extent. But also there's the in-betweens of what we need to do to still hold them accountable, to remind them, to walk the journey with them. Because I think also these leaders are not, from heaven, that they know it all.
Definitely.
But are we really doing that? We are not.
We are not.
And as much as we want to point fingers, we have to also look back at ourselves and reflect deeply on what we need to do and how we do it.
In the same breath of accountability, do you have a given way on how you hold yourself accountable?
Yes, I do. It's very simple. And this is as simple as just writing what I want to achieve in a day, like 5-6 pointers, and sometimes I look back at them late in the evening. Sometimes I look at them the next day, and they tell me how well I'm doing what I purpose to do or not. But this then goes further. There are bigger goals and visions that I always bounce on and off.
On a scale of 1 to 10,
I would give myself 6.
Okay, why 6?
Because I still. It's a matter of writing, like I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it's also a matter of doing the one properly. So sometimes we get caught up in, I did the 10 or I did the 7, but did I do the 1 and 2's right?
Definitely.
So that's why.
Definitely. And I've been following you quite closely, and I've been seeing you've been quite vocal about also holding our leaders accountable. So what is the one most frustrating thing that you think you're trying to do that isn't working, actually, and the thing that you've been vocal about it?
One that I think I've been doing is to domesticate accountability. Really have me and you and everyone around me feel like it is our responsibility before it's someone else's responsibility. But we always tend to fall back and say, it's that man or that woman or
pointing fingers
to Flani Ama, didn't do that. So for me, that is the one thing that I always want to do. And as I self-reflect, I want the reflection to just go slow out of me as it goes further than just jumping from me to that someone on the very far end. That is the one thing that I'll say again still has a long journey to go. And we see it with the leaders that we have now. They do this, they do that, and it's like they do it yesterday, we don't like it yesterday, and tomorrow, and today or tomorrow they say this, and we're like, we forgot that, so it's the end there.
Now about domesticating accountability. Let's talk about public participation.
Yes.
Because I believe as much as we are pointing fingers and holding our leaders accountable, sometimes we don't take the public participation forums with keen interest.
I would say we've evolved. We are doing good, but it's at a very slow pace. People nowadays do public participation. The much that now needs to go into what they do is also, again, the how good you do it. It's not about, kuna public participation in this particular hall and you came and you shouted, but how did you really understand that policy that you are participating in? And what are you informing in whatever you're saying? Because these are two different things, and that's why we must not always shout at each other, but speak to each other. Try to make each other understand. Again, we are in very different times. That also public participation is evolving not to only be in person. Sometimes we have let me talk about the Nairobi County and many other counties. Sometimes they have, opportunities for people to participate even virtually. How many of us do that? Because you'll say, sikukua in that particular area then, but did you participate virtually? Did you read the policy? Did you give a submission?
Not many of us do that. And sorry for this, but I think it's quite timely. Like the other day, we've been seeing a collision between the president and the National Assembly. Some of the members of parliament in the National Assembly are saying we've been doing this for the president, for the president. Highlight the president. The president is the key player in this. Now, have they been doing it for the president while the National Assembly covers the whole nation? So, who are they supposed to be doing this for? Is the ordinary mwananchi?
Of course,
not the president.
Of course, it is a top-down, down-up approach. But first, they should be doing it for the people. What does your constituency say on that particular issue? Whatever you did, because sometimes what your people say reflects and looks like what the president is saying. If it aligns, then it's okay. But if it doesn't align, then the question is, whose voice are you representing? And I find it a bit ironical and, just playing games to say, we did it for him, we did it for him. Also, you should always remember who gave you that mandate. Why did you not do it for that person first? And maybe they're telling us, we did it wrong and we are sorry, or maybe we did it wrong and you need to act on it. Maybe they're telling their constituents in 2027, you know what to do, right? So,
And I do understand, as much as you've been doing it for him or doing it for the ordinary mwananchi, you as a person, as an entity, you also have that personal autonomy. So can't you even think for yourself?
Interestingly, because somehow some of us abscond their, personal being and, drives to give in to other pressures, and I think that is what they are saying.
Yeah.
Because what was happening in your mind while you are doing it for them that you've remembered now?
It's like you've become a passenger in your own life.
Yes.
Because I've been reading one comment on LinkedIn, and one of the members of parliament said, we sat here up to 10 a.m., at 10 p.m. at night just to pass a particular bill.
Yep.
But on normal circumstances, he would have stayed. He wouldn't have stayed there until that time.
Or some of them don't even come to parliament
for the sitting.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but also it speaks to how captured our parliament is, because then why have imbalanced, priorities? Why this and not this? Why this and not this? Yeah. And we need to, as people, check our leaders, check our MCAs, our MPs, our governors, day in, day out, remind them. You might be getting lost for whatever reason, but remind them.
Yeah.
Remind them that you're there because of me, and this is what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what we wanted you to do on ground. And there's been a tussle. I cannot say it's been nationwide, but across the circles that I interact with, there's been a tussle about the National Assembly and the Senate, people fighting over which house is bigger than which. Some people say it's the Senate. Now, according to the Constitution, it's supposed to be the Senate. But why is it that the Senate gets to propose whatever should the policies? They are the one who curate the policies and then toss it over to the National Assembly to pass them.
It's an interesting question, but also it's the mandate of the different houses and what they need to do in what particular times.
Yeah.
The discourse or the discord for me is that our leaders don't speak from the same script.
Yeah.
If they really had at heart what should be done for the nation, then there shouldn't be an issue between who passes and who, like, it's common sense. If it's good for the people, why are you again discussing who? It's good for the people. Yeah. So for me, I think it's an issue of not speaking from the same script, or rather having, and we see, as has been, that the national parliament has been captured in different ways, that sometimes the Senate remains and seems to be clear-minded and not the national parliament. So then this is a back and forth. That's why for me it's good and important that we hold our leaders to account and also just remind them. I think we have to show them the power that we hold. Because when they do that, it's because they think that we don't matter.
But do you think it has been easy to show these leaders the power that we hold?
It's not, for me, a question of ease. It's a question of priorities and what we do and want. Because if you want a good leader, you should simply vote for them. But there's the many processes that see this through have had so many issues. For example, people would want to vote. And we are looking at the just ended Gen Z, uprising or revolt. Yeah. And we see many Gen Zs who are supposed to be first-time voters in 2027. And I want to believe that they've not changed their mindset. But if they can't be voters in 2027 because, for example, the IBC is not functioning well, then there's a loophole in this journey. So it's not just one problem, it's a multiple of problems that we need to solve on different levels. So that the whole buffet is right. Yeah.
And in this whole conversation, we're excluding one key partner or stakeholder, the judicial system.
Yes. And again, we are in a trying time, but I believe all is not lost. Our judiciary has had a lot of, ups and downs. We have elements that are trying to sabotage our judiciary. We have elements that are very focused in within the judiciary. We have elements that also are not, pro-people.
Yeah.
But that is a place to run to. We have to have a judiciary that is very independent, well-resourced. As we know, they've come out many times to say that they are not well-resourced. We've seen many times where the judiciary gives, orders or gives rulings on particular issues, and then they are not followed well. So the sabotage, the shortcomings are also rendering the judiciary a bit of, powerless or not so useful. But still, that is a place to run to.
Yeah, definitely.
And that is a place to support and hope that they do what's right.
Because I'm just imagining a government without the judicial aspect.
Checks and balances must always be
there.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yes.
But there was an instance where personally I felt like the judicial system wasn't aligning with the purpose that it was set there to serve, but rather it was biased and serving the interest of the politicians. It's not supposed to be like that. Yeah, the politicians are entirely. It's different from the judicial system. Now, when they come to mess up with the judicial system, for many Kenyans who don't understand the chain of command, they'll say the judicial system is corrupt, or the judicial system is biased. And we've been seeing such cases whereby even the CJ, the bodyguards were withdrawn. So, and I wondered, was it something that they felt like they should take away our bodyguards, or is it something constitutional, or was it just not serving one politician's interest? It
is not constitutional at all.
Yeah.
I think the other issue that we have as a nation is that our moral grounding, our moral authority is very eroded. And whoever should hold the other accountable, him or herself is morally bankrupt. So then no one is holding anyone accountable. And that is our biggest problem. That's why I say every other individual has the responsibility to do what is right, even when not being seen. Because I think that's where the problem is. Our moral authority is gone. So people do live like animals. And this is not serving us. Because also a government that can withdraw, for example, the security of the CJ simply because there was a particular, there was a difference of thought processes and, rulings and all that, says a lot about where we are. You have to be corrected and you take it as a correction.
As correction.
Not coming back with, witch hunts and all that.
It's not like this person has undermined my authority.
No.
But it happens.
Yes, it happens.
It happens. It's not only in Kenya, it's the whole of Africa, I think.
We want to really make sure that Kenya is in the right footing. Because also, as he said, charity begins at home. We might want to say, it's all over. But if it is totally gone at home, then we can't speak of anyone else.
Close to 60 years of independence, and still I feel like our politics has not matured.
Yeah, it is a long journey, and I think as humans we are prone to make mistakes, so sometimes slip backwards. The question is how much gain can we hold to and try to move forwards? Just say, okay, we are here and we can't go back. We might stay here for a while, but we can't go back. For me, that is the biggest challenge that we have to work with. And that's why I implore the young people now, the Gen Zs, let's stay within that, momentum of truly making sure that Kenya, goes in the right direction.
The Kenya we want.
Yes.
Kenya tuitakayo.
Yes.
How do you translate that into artistry?
I think you've done it. It's just that. It's just how you've put it. Yeah.
Do you feel stuck and hopeless at times?
Of course, there are times that I personally feel like, is it even worth it? Mm-hmm. But when I reflect and remember that I also have a responsibility as an individual, and thinking that me losing, giving up totally means a lot in terms of, just letting things fall, then I get back on my feet. But also, we have scenarios and instances that things have worked.
Yeah.
We have few MPs, few MCAs, some governors that are doing it right. That is, light of hope.
Yeah.
We have young people who are standing up, actively participating. That is light of hope. Yeah.
And I can allude this to during the past elections, I saw you vied for a seat.
Yep.
Can you indulge us further?
Yes, it has been a conversation of they are not doing. But what am I not doing as an individual? Or what am I doing? So, having also been a community organizer, and I've organized 4 courses for agendas, for leaders, for young, small groupings. It came to a time where people thought like, oh, you can do it, you should do it.
Yeah.
I knew I could, but I was not really fronting myself as, for a political space. But then also came a time that we had to step in.
Yeah.
So I stepped out, stepped in fully into politics, went for a member for County Assembly, Ward 4-5 within Embakasi North constituency.
Yeah.
Went through the party primaries. Of course, I got my certificate. But again, the political space that we are in, that is very, murky, very dirty, has a lot of issues that sometimes is not pro fresh comers like me then. Didn't work. So I got my party primary certificates, but then I was zoned out because my party then was under the Azimio, coalition. Yeah. But that only opened my eyes further and opened the eyes of those many people. And I've had this conversation. I was in a screening just last week, and we had a very long conversation where people felt like vying as an independent candidate is okay.
Yeah.
Some years back, that was not a conversation. So for me, that tells me that we are heading in the right direction. And of course, 2027 has so many good things and new things to hope for.
Yeah. There's one thing that we often overlook when it comes to Kenyan politics. It's the cost of politics.
Yes.
People in Kenya take politics as a lucrative business.
The cost of politics is there. It's very expensive. But the flip side of it is, why can't we take the cost of politics, as people? It seems to be a business, a dirty business, because it's left to the elite, it's left to those, who control resources and have big businesses. But why are we, the people, not taking the cost of politics now that we've gone further into the expense of it? And I'm saying this because, and I'll allude to my campaign period, nearly 40 to 50% of resources and things that I used were contributed by the people. My first 5,000 posters were contributed by the people. And in that case, for me, then the cost of politics is owned by the people. If that is the way we want to go, then it does not matter. But if we leave it to those who have agendas that are not pro-people, then it becomes too expensive.
Yes. I think it's high time, because you're just a youth also. I think it's high time more youths like you to spring up and utilize the human capital.
I think there are many. They still might not step out fully, but there are many, because I remember when I vied, there was this young man, or rather a young brother, from the other ward, who was like, how are you doing it? Do you have this much money? And I was like, no, it's not about the money. And I told him, you're also a leader and you can do this. And we started walking a journey. And fortunately, he was really into it. He took his papers to party primaries and he got nominated and he got to the ballot and everything else came in. So it's just a matter of stepping out, believing in yourself and making one step towards what you want.
Let me tell you a secret. Such talks for me, because I believe great policies, great ideas came from talks. Such talks are the ones that gives me hope about the betterment of our country, about like Kenya is headed into a right direction. What gives you hope about Kenya?
What gives me hope about Kenya is that Kenyans, and me being one of them, we are believers. We are believers of greatness. We don't just give up. And in itself, we've achieved so much. So many, and I've gone to different spaces and countries, and sometimes you go out there when you think, tuko pabaya, and you find like, si pabaya sana, but also you're like, no, but we should be, So we are believers, we are doers, and that in itself, again, even with our challenges, we've achieved so much. Locally and globally. Go out there and ask about Kenyan icons. There are so many. We are still achieving. So that in itself just says that we need to reflect and correct our undoings and keep moving forward.
Actually, that reminded me of something. I was just scrolling on my status and I saw one post. I don't know if it was yours or somebody else's. A certain delegate from the United States was saying, anything we want to try in Kenya, in Africa, we try it in Kenya or in Kenya first. Okay, to some extent, it gives me hope that the narrative out there is slowly changing, but as much as it's changing, it's also worsening because Kenya as a country is a good country. Only a few people are misleading and are changing our narratives. Okay, so let's say in 2027 you clinch that position and you manage to go through. What is that one thing? If you have a seat to sit now, not with the president, let's talk about the man now. What is that one thing that you'd love to tell him?
To tell the president? I'd love to tell the people more than the president. For me, it's always the other way around. And for me, is demystification of leadership and political seats. An MP, an MCA, a governor, president is not God. For me, this is the biggest undoing because one, we leave them to be these demigods. Then they are not told, then they don't listen, then they just go off. But also, we don't infuse what is needed to them. I've been in meetings and conferences and spaces where someone will say, we know this MCA that does this great work. But you go back home and everyone is like, no, he's doing nothing. But the thing is, the two never meet to speak to each other. The MCA is always feeling like my people are bashing me. The people are always feeling like the MCA is unreachable, untouchable. But these are people who need each other.
Definitely.
So if I could demystify leadership to not mean power out of reach, to mean just responsibility over duration, then I think we will do great.
Okay, let's not talk about the president now. So if you'd be talking now to the man.
The man. It would be you are a leader in your being. You just gave me a responsibility or gave someone. I know of young people who we meet and they say, I was thinking about this policy, this way, this style. They have they have it in themselves, but they are not putting it out there.
Yeah.
So giving them the power to put it, to share it, however raw it is, would mean much to me.
Yeah.
It's analogy of, the head, the heart, and the feet. The head thinks, the heart feels, the feet moves.
Yeah.
But we are so stuck in what the heart feels, but not necessarily what the mind thinks and takes out of the deep conversations. And moving with it, we are so stuck in the heart, not bad, but we have to, involve the three. Let the heart do what it should do, the mind what it should, and the feet. Let every part play its role.
Yeah. What if the heart wants what it wants?
It's okay, let it want, but if it doesn't involve the mind and the feet, then it might not get what it wants.
Truly appreciate it for coming through, and hoping in future we'll have more sessions.
Of course.
Because I know this talk cannot end here.
So much more to be said, and thank you also for the great work, for having such a platform, and let's have as many of us also come on board and share their thoughts. And Viva.
Viva.
Thank you.
I've been your host with the most. You can call me Timothy because they call me Timothy. And until next time, I'll see you in the future.